Before we begin part 5 of Dracula, Lucy Westenra grows weaker and weaker, and no one understands the true reason behind her illness. Dr. Seward becomes deeply worried and calls the famous Professor Van Helsing for help. But strange signs, mysterious blood loss, and dark secrets begin to surround Lucy's life. In this chapter, fear, sacrifice, and mystery grow stronger than ever. Dr. John Seward writes a letter to Arthur Holmwood. He says, "Lucy Westenra is getting worse again. The famous Dr. Professor Abraham Van Helsing is coming to help. Lucy's mother is weak and must not receive any shock. Dr. Seward hopes everything will become better soon." Van Helsing tells Dr. Seward, "Do not tell Arthur everything yet. Be patient and careful. Write down every detail." He says doctors must learn from both success and failure. Van Helsing already suspects something strange is happening to Lucy. When Van Helsing sees Lucy, he is shocked. Lucy is very pale, can barely speak, looks weak and lifeless. Van Helsing quickly understands, Lucy has lost too much blood, she may die very soon. He says a blood transfusion must happen immediately. Arthur arrives because he is worried about Lucy. Van Helsing decides Arthur should give blood because he is young, strong, and healthy. Arthur says he would gladly give his life for Lucy. Van Helsing gives Lucy medicine to help her sleep. Then Arthur gives blood to Lucy. Slowly, color returns to Lucy's face, her breathing becomes stronger, and she looks alive again. Arthur becomes weak from blood loss, but he is happy Lucy survives. While fixing Lucy's pillow, Van Helsing notices a strange red mark on her throat. The mark is hidden under a black velvet ribbon. Arthur does not notice it, but Van Helsing becomes very serious. At the end, Dr. Seward quietly asks, "What do you make of that mark on her throat?" This makes the mystery even darker and more frightening. Dr. John Seward examines the red marks on Lucy Westenra's throat. He sees 2 tiny puncture wounds, strange white edges around them, but no normal sign of disease. He wonders if the wounds are causing Lucy's blood loss, but he thinks that idea sounds impossible. Professor Abraham Van Helsing becomes very serious and returns to Amsterdam to study more. He warns Seward, "Never leave Lucy alone, watch her all night, and protect her carefully." During the night, Lucy wakes up and says something frightening, "I am afraid to sleep." She explains, every time she sleeps, terrible weakness comes to her. Sleep feels connected to horror and fear. Dr. Seward promises he will stay beside her. He will wake her if nightmares come. Feeling safe, Lucy finally falls into peaceful sleep. The next day Lucy looks healthier. She smiles, talks happily, and feels much stronger. Arthur Holmwood and Dr. Seward are informed that the blood transfusion worked well. Lucy feels safe because Dr. Seward stays nearby during the night. Van Helsing performs another transfusion. Slowly, color returns to Lucy's cheeks, her breathing improves, and she survives again. Dr. Seward feels weak afterward, but he's happy Lucy lives. Van Helsing tells him, "Keep everything secret, especially from Arthur. Nobody understands how Lucy keeps losing blood, why the marks on her neck remain, or what attacks her during sleep." Van Helsing warns Dr. Seward, "Do not fear to think even the most impossible things." The mystery around Lucy grows darker and more supernatural. Lucy Westenra writes in her diary that she finally feels safe. Professor Abraham Van Helsing placed garlic flowers around her room and neck. Lucy says, she used to fear sleep, strange sounds frightened her, but now she feels peaceful. She even begins to like the smell of garlic. The next morning, Dr. Seward and Van Helsing arrive. Mrs. Westenra happily tells them, Lucy slept very well. The room smelled too strong, so she removed all the garlic flowers and opened the window for fresh air. She does not know the garlic was protecting Lucy. For the first time, Dr. Seward sees Van Helsing lose control. Van Helsing cries loudly, blames fate and evil, fears Lucy may be lost, but he quickly regains strength and says, "We fight him all the same." This shows Van Helsing believes an evil force is attacking Lucy. Lucy again looks pale, weak, almost dead. Van Helsing decides Dr. Seward is too weak now, so Van Helsing himself gives blood to Lucy. After the transfusion, color slowly returns to Lucy's face, and she sleeps peacefully again. For 4 days, Lucy feels much stronger. She says, the nightmares stop, the strange noises disappear, she no longer fears sleep. Van Helsing keeps protecting her with garlic flowers. Even when bats flap outside the window, Lucy is not afraid anymore. The chapter changes to a newspaper story from the Pall Mall Gazette. It tells about a wolf escaping from the zoo, a reporter interviewing the wolf keeper, strange and mysterious events happening around London. This begins another dark mystery connected to Dracula. This chapter shows that Lucy's condition is still very dangerous, even though she sometimes seems to recover. Van Helsing begins to realize that something more than an ordinary illness is attacking Lucy. The garlic becomes an important protection, but a small mistake made by Mrs. Westenra places Lucy in great danger once again. By the end of the chapter, the story increases the fear, mystery, and the feeling that a dark force is secretly drawing closer. If you enjoyed this chapter of Dracula, don't forget to like, subscribe for more mysterious stories, and share your thoughts in the comments below. More dark secrets and terrifying moments are coming soon.